language so beautifully that it's beautiful to hear that how they Hi, everybody. It's Paula. This is the Common Book Show, and we're really in for a rough ride today, I think. We've got Richard, and we've got Nessa, and we've got Jason, and we've got James, and, of course, my son Tom on drums. And so now I'm going to just start off. I've got two short readings, and I'm going to have to point to Jason when we get to the one word because I can't pronounce it. But these are just about customs that I found fascinating. So just give me 1 second.
Fascinating like amazing or fascinating like car accident?
Kind of like car accident.
Custom, like the amplifiers made in Kansas that CCR used?
All right. So the first one is, now the Libyans dwell in Africa as follows. Beginning from Egypt, first of the Libyans are settled the
Adira Machadai.
who generally share the same customs as the Egyptians, but wear clothing similar to that of the other Libyans. Libyan is just a way of, it's just Africa. That's what...
Oh, it's like Chinaman.
That's
Muammar Gaddafi.
So the Libyans are Africans, okay. Their women wear a bronze bangle upon each leg, and they have long hair on their heads. And when they catch their lice, each one bites her own in retaliation and then throws them away. These are the only people of the Liberians who do this, and alone display to the king their maidens when they are about to be married. And whoever of them proves to be pleasing to the king is deflowered by him. Okay, that's my one.
They're deflowered by Elvis?
By King Elvis, yes.
Yes, the king. Or is that Trump?
Okay, so the next one is, okay, so next after these, okay, we need,
I can't.
okay,
Ausikisai.
okay, Ausakisai, toward the west comes the Nasamandians, okay, a numerous race, who in the summer leave their flocks behind by the sea and go up to the region of Aguila to gather the fruits of the date palms, which grow in great number and very large and are all fruit-bearing. These hunt the wingless locusts, and they dry them in the sun, and they pound them up, and after that they sprinkle them upon milk and drink them. Their custom is for each man to have many wives, and they share their sexual intercourse with them in nearly the same manner as the
Misagetai.
That is, they set up a staff in front of the door and have intercourse. When the Manoian man marries his first wife, the custom is for the bride on the first night to go through the whole number of the feast guests, having intercourse with them, and each man, when he has lain with her, gives her a gift, whatsoever he has brought with him from his house. The dish towel,
His
fork.
bag of tricks.
The forms of oath and divination which they use are as follows. They swear by the men among themselves who are reported to have been most righteous and brave, laying hands upon their tombs, and they divine by visiting the sepulchre mounds and their ancestors and lying down to sleep upon them after having prayed. And whatsoever thing the man sees in his dream, this he accepts. They practice also the exchange of pledges in the following manner. One gives the other to drink from his hand, and drinks himself from the hand of the other. And if they have no liquid, they take of the dust from the ground and lick it.
That's very dry.
Okay, that was my excerpts from the histories by Herodotus for today's session.
That Herodotus guy is good.
Herodotus, he is good.
He's a hero.
That's from the library.
Biblioteca.
It almost looks like no, it's not. It
No,
looks like a
this
little
is.
library thing
Are you
there.
kidding me? I couldn't finish this in 2 weeks. I'm going to be reading this until
Poser.
but I have passed the halfway point.
Adira Makadai.
I know.
Mitagesai.
Thank you for that compliment. So that's my. I just love these things because they just remind me how diverse the world was and is. All these different variations on humanity. It's just amazing.
Well, all I think of is The Simpsons. We had an onion on our belt, which was the style at the time.
That was a Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
Grandpa?
Yeah.
Yeah. The best characters on the show are Grandpa and Mr. Burns.
I thought Hans Moleman.
Oh, he's good too.
I'm only 29 years old.
Yeah, I do. I like
You got a favorite Simpson?
a favorite.
OJ?
I think I like the guy that has the store.
Oh,
Apu.
Apu.
Apu. Yeah. I
How
find
about you, Richard?
And Mom.
I never watched it.
And Mom's favorite, Geet.
All right. So after this frivolity, I am deferring to Richard to give us something from his list.
What kind of list?
Does anybody know who the winners were at the Kentucky Derby?
Yes,
no.
I do.
Oh, hi,
There.
Celeste.
Oh, a surprise.
Wow. So you know the winners?
Yes.
Did you bet?
Kentucky Derby is in my family.
what I want to
tradition
know,
for.
what I
Go to
want to know,
OTB?
Celeste, is do the winners have a deeper meaning in the names of the horses?
Yes, the winner is sovereignty.
Ooh.
The second
is-
place was journalism.
For real?
Right?
This is a joke?
Wow. No.
serious.
And the show was Wet
Third place
Kiss.
winner was Baeza, who's a Japanese horse. Fourth place publisher. And
Wow.
those are the horses I picked that sounded like freedom. We had to.
Is that what you were
going to
get at?
Track record,
Yeah, in
but
other words-
I like these guys because they sound like what I want.
Wow.
So did you hit the superfecta for like $85,000?
No, and I would tell you why.
Freedom fries.
There used to be an OTB on Delaware Avenue. And I would hang out. It was a real strange place.
Oh,
right?
it sure is.
Bunch of weird characters in
My
there.
stepfather.
And that's the only time I would go, right? Because
Yeah.
it was a thing I used to do with my dad ever since I was very young. And I would place my bets and we'd have all the screens. And then they closed the OTB and they made it way out somewhere in suburbs. And so I wanted to bet on Mystic Dan last year and I didn't, and the horse won.
Oh, no.
Again, because I like that name.
I think there's
And
still
I
an
drove out to wherever the hecky it was, and the line was stretched around the building.
I think there's an OTB in Riverside too. It's too profitable of a community.
You know what?
for
You can
them.
go to Sportsbook though at the casino
You're
now.
right. Yeah, because
Or do you have an aversion to the casino?
I don't have an aversion to the casino, but
I just don't like to
going
go
to
there.
the OTB with all the weirdos is kind of
It was
cool.
so much better. I know.
Right? I mean, it's one day a year, and you hear
Yeah.
these conversations, and you watch how these people respond to react because they're watching races all day.
That's how I feel about riding the bus.
but also these old men. The thing is, one thing that OTBs didn't have for the longest time were bathrooms.
Really?
Yeah, you weren't
really?
meant to hang out there. Yeah, that there was no bathrooms there. So you got all
Go
these
in the
guys.
alley,
Yeah,
the back alley.
It's not convenient for us.
No, well,
That's where the
I can
Backstreet
say
Boys hang out. Is the back alley?
Yeah.
I thought it was Dino and Rocco.
It is Dino and Rocco.
So
No.
What-
Well, all I can say is the OTB on Delaware had a little kind of like lunch bar, buffet, cafeteria. You could order hamburgers, pizza, whatever. They did have ladies' rooms and men's rooms.
Oh wow!
oh, that was a rarity then.
because I remember a guy
Yeah.
talking about it in the mid '90s in the Buffalo News, saying about
Yeah,
that.
I think once they put food in though,
Yeah.
they have to
When the
follow.
hell did they put food in?
I don't know. That's what Celeste. I'm believing
Oh
her.
yeah, they had like a
She's
little,
trustworthy.
like a little, snack stand or whatever, where you could
See,
get pop and bananas and potato chips, a
Uh-huh.
slice of pizza.
So Richard, what were
Okay.
you going to say about the horses?
We were talking about pattern recognition.
oh,
Oh,
So there are people saying, oh, sovereignty, journalism, the
Yes.
universe is telling us that freedom of the press is a top priority.
oh wow,
Should be.
John Peter Zenger is giving you a thumbs up from the
that's a
grave.
stretch. But I mean, I like it.
Well, I got to tell you,
I'll
that's
take
where
it.
I was rolling.
I'll take it as a sign. Even if I'm not a big believer in signs, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I was surprised. I've never seen those names of horses like that in a race. And I've been watching this thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
usually-
been
maybe
years.
we can segue into the picture of the Pope
Well,
at this time.
picked a new Pope?
Do you think? Well, this is
The conclave is conclaving.
yeah. We have an interesting picture that showed
Yeah,
up.
and he posted that, or he truthed that himself on his dipshit, whatever his thing is.
Truth Social.
Yeah, Untruth Social.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. It's
He
very.
doesn't-
I mean, I'm not Catholic anymore, but as an ex-Catholic, I really have to.
You really
I'm
think
looking at that because I was raised Catholic too, and I said I'm going to stand down in case lightning strikes us for looking at it.
like Lou Christie or Klaus Nomi? Yes.
That is brutal.
That is brutal. We have a crazy man running the country. I mean, narcissist, crazy man.
Well,
With dementia.
yeah, that's the thing, that he is, you can't predict him. And he has all the nitwits behind him that are trying to legitimize all the stuff he's doing. But how do you legitimize craziness? You don't know what the next stupid
Well,
thing's
they've
going
been
to come out
doing
of
that
his
forever.
mouth.
You just keep agreeing. That's all. No matter what, no matter how many times he contradicts himself, you just keep agreeing.
Well, I think that's why Mike Johnson, I think offhand one day, Dumb Donnie said, next spot that opens on Supreme Court, you get it. That's why he's bending over backwards to humiliate himself. And Donnie's not even going to remember that he said it.
Yeah.
He's just going to say, give me a Big Mac or two of them while I'm at it.
But did you see the meme on Facebook where it's like a little carousel where a guy
Carousel?
all supporting
On a carousel.
he comes out with his Magna hat and Trump is standing in the middle of the carousel kind of thing. And then when it rotates, when past Trump, he pulls out a knife and stabs him in the back.
Oh,
And then he rotates out off the carousel.
You should go to
Instead,
carousel. Why run
apply
when
to
you can
Trump
renew?
Supporters.
Why run when you can renew?
yeah, that good
Really?
reference. I just saw that movie recently.
Best movie ever.
Yeah.
So
So
and
was
some of his people are crazy. I mean, who's
They're all
crazier
crazy.
than that Pam Bondi and
oh
Lord
no!
knew.
You know what? Did you
Steve
see her
Miller.
lately? She started out looking really young and innocent
She's
and
60
sweet.
years old.
No, I'm not talking about Pam Bondi. Then I'm talking about the
Caroline
the,
Leavitt?
the spokesman.
Love it.
They all
Yeah.
look the same, so yeah, the other one.
The blonde
The other
spokeswoman.
girls. They all look
she
like Trump
looked.
call girls.
She looks real. She looked really sweet and innocent and young. She looks like her. The last picture I saw of
She
her.
looks like a raccoon.
Her eyes are. You can see how much makeup she's got under her eyes from
Yes.
covering up the
bags.
she's young. She's a young woman.
Well, Dumb Donnie has always made it. If you're a woman, he hires by looks first.
Yes.
That's like
That's- that is
I
true.
mean, Bondi was the DA of Florida. Not that that means
Yeah.
a lot, but she was the DA of Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know what the noon chick was,
Yeah, I don't know either.
but either way, like I said, they all look like call girls to me.
Yeah. Well,
how many call girls have you seen? Because you know that.
don't underestimate the power of who women know.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, because if you're in the business of titillating men and getting them to pay, you got to look good. If you look haggard, they're going to say, "Stay away from me."
I got a story
Well,
about
they
that.
started
yeah.
that. I mean, if you look at them, they all look like
Yeah, they're over
kinda Barbie-ish.
processed.
Yeah.
They're
the long
over
hair,
processed
the
women.
dark smoky eyes. The V necks. I mean,
Yeah.
those really kind of.
Yeah,
outfit.
I know.
The
It's
blonde
like
hair.
it's a type. It's a type.
It's a type. It's
is
a
there
type.
was there anything else you wanted to say about the names of the horses or the other Trump thing?
Well, I was going to say, like, there's no names like Wet Kiss or
How about I got a
Salome
good
or-
horse name, Dog Food, or Glue.
Oh, that's
Those would be
so
great horse
mean.
names.
That's mean.
Those owners spend too much money. They don't want to curse their horses with their beard.
Glue.
Never wear any. Never do any job you wouldn't wear a T-shirt that says it. Like you wouldn't wear future abortion provider. You know when you go to your local
Speak for
store.
yourself.
That's true. You
I tell
really.
you what was interesting. The winning jockey's from Venezuela.
Uh huh.
Father was from Venezuela, who was also a jockey. And I thought for a moment the commentator was going to ask him about Venezuela and the ministry, but she didn't. I'm sure somebody said, "Don't you go there."
Yeah.
She didn't ask him if he had his passport with him.
I don't know. We'll find out in the morning if he got deported when he tried to go home.
Yeah.
To be.
Well, if he's a white Venezuelan, he's okay. If he was a brown one, then you're getting
No,
thrown in.
he's brown with a strong accent.
Wow.
Oh no.
Can he play
He's
baseball?
going to be gone.
I gotta say, we had to watch the news. They're deporting everybody.
Yeah, that's right. I know. It's been crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It's
They should deport Trump's wife.
there was a there was a thing there was
Elon,
a thing
too.
on the Comedy Central show, The Daily Show.
Oh yeah.
They had a little recorded like a commercial for people who are having a hard time with the politics at this time, and
The politics of dancing.
and they're saying that we have something for you that will help you get through the next 4 years. And do you remember that cat poster from the 70s where the cat's
Oh, yeah.
hanging onto a line
Hang in
and
there,
it says
baby.
hang in there? So they were saying that this is gonna help you get through the next 4 years. So they were like, they had every place people were crying, they would hang this poster, hang in there, and the people would change their attitude.
Well, that's an attitude adjuster right there.
Yeah, huh?
Sure, yeah.
Well, it's like that meme of the person drowning and they're in the water, their hand is up, but the hand goes out, you think it's going to grab, but it high fives them and they sink in the water.
Oh, like the good Billie Eilish video. Everything I Wanted. My favorite music video. It has a car just like Tom's, and it drives across a beach in California with all these palm trees. It goes into the Pacific. It sinks, and her and her brother are in the car, and they're like happily drowning underwater in a car, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it's dark.
So there's a guy I went to high school with. He's an anesthesiologist now up at ECMC. A colleague of his there got about 10 years ago, got an invite to the Grammys. And what it said is it's a black tie affair. You will not be admitted if you are not wearing appropriate evening wear unless you are somebody of such stature that it's your thing. So that's why when you see Billie Eilish, she can wear her pajamas, but Phineas, her brother, he has to wear a suit still. And that's why his Gucci suit, he couldn't wear like Gucci jeans. He had to wear the suit made of the same sparkly stuff. It was like
a dress code.
Pharrell with the hat. That was his thing.
Well, they had that one guy that had the dress, the tuxedo dress.
Billy
Porter.
It was
Porter.
cool. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah, it was better than the thing a couple of years ago where he had or Billy had that like drapes that you hit the button and it opened up and it was it looked like a Mexican or a Toreador hat, but and it would.
Yeah, well, it's just something that eye catching. Oh, but all right.
I mean, his moniker is outrageous, right? So. That's what he does.
That's right. That's
very gifted, very talented, but that's what he does.
It's right. It is. It's shock value for shock's sake.
Yeah.
Well,
like the Alice Cooper band.
I wore my Alice Cooper concert shirt earlier this week.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see someone's wearing them still.
I just saw Alice Cooper, what was it, 6 years ago in concert.
Oh.
He still puts on one hell of a show, but not as good as Willie Nelson. Willie's 92. And
Willie Nelson, I couldn't understand a word he said when I saw him.
Willie puts on a hell of a show,
time.
and so does Bret Michaels. That's worth the cost of the ticket alone.
Do you know what I heard last time I saw Willie Nelson? Crazy. Crazy.
Back in 2006,
That's all I heard.
I wanted to see Dylan before Dylan died, and it was Willie and Dylan.
Did he die yet?
Who?
Dylan.
No, he's 85. But Dylan sucked. Dylan was horrible. He was horrible. Willie killed it. I mean, Willie was.
Do you know why Greg wrote a book called Bob Dylan, What the Fuck Happened? That's so he wrote that book because he went to a Bob Dylan concert. I didn't go with him, and he sang "Blowing in the Wind," and this is how he sang "Blowing in the Wind." Blowing wind. Blowing wind. And the two guys that were sitting behind Greg were obviously huge fans. And they were like, when is he going to sing Blowing in the Wind? And the guy turned to him and he said, he sang it. He just sang it just now. He said, he did not. And so, I mean, but he's a trickster. Bob Dylan is, he did a Victoria's Secret commercial. I mean, the
in
guy.
Lingerie?
No.
That'd be nice.
No, he wasn't in lingerie, but he did a Christmas album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
he was a long time
It's Bob.
partner with Mavis Staples.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah, he was in love with her.
Yep.
I'll take you there.
And she was like, I can't do it. I'm too scared. I don't blame her.
Yeah, he might have to be interesting though,
Well,
at least for a short term.
He was raised Jewish, so he was hung well. So I mean,
Is that right? How do you know that?
I'm just
You're a
saying.
doctor.
He's into that.
I'm a
At the very
doctor.
least,
I've never seen
Jewish
Zim,
people are
naked,
uncircumcised and therefore have not lost inches off of their.
But haven't most men been circumcised
In the US.
United
Well,
States
Jewish
of America?
men were circumcised. If he was Jewish, he'd be circumcised.
Yeah, that's what James had said. Sort
Yeah.
of that the other
I thought
men
you were
are.
inverting
well,
the.
they still got the meat.
What, they're Arby's?
Do you know
They've
who does
got
that
the
voice?
meat.
That's
I
Ving
knew- I
Rhames.
told you this
Ving
was
Like
gonna
the
Rhames.
be a
Go-Go's, they've got
challenge,
the
Richard.
beef, but you put the M in front of it and you've got the meat. Like for the Meat Men and You Suck. You like that record?
Oh God, here we go.
We're just talking about Black Flag, so why not the Meat Men?
We're gonna get back to a topic that is appropriate to the
You've never heard the Meat Men?
intellectual level of my show. We're getting back to that.
Who's the bassist for Motley Crue? Is that Mick Mars?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mick-
I always forget if it's him or...
Mick Mars is the...
Or Nikki Sixx.
Mick, if you're
Nikki
still
Sixx is the guitarist.
if you're still watching, thank you for watching. I see you.
Mick Mars is watching?
You said your readings are never short, and you are right. So I know you're actually watching. So I appreciate you so much.
Is he far right?
Or is he far wrong?
So, Richard, you have something intellectual on your list here that we can contemplate.
Yeah, you know that kind of stuff I like to talk about?
That's yeah. Now you sound like Greg.
Writer-director David Cronenberg.
Oh,
Oh,
His wife died 8 years ago.
okay.
Started working on his next movie. It came out yesterday.
Oh,
It's called Shrouds.
shrouds,
Shrouds.
like the shrouds
Of Turin.
Of
yeah,
Turin
like
only.
the sheets wrapped around dead people's
yeah,
shrouds.
yeah.
So here's what there's a lot of interesting things about this movie.
Okay.
Number one,
You saw it already?
nope.
Okay, go
Nope.
ahead.
Just read a ton of it because it finished in the,
Arriving?
it means it's 8 o'clock.
Oh,
It finished in the running for the top film at Cannes. But it
Oh, okay.
didn't get voted in.
Yeah.
So, so Cronenberg's wife, they'd been together for 39 years. Okay, then
Quitter.
she dies. Now look at this movie that he just made. It's about, first of all, he casts an actor to be the lead in the movie, Vincent Cassel.
oh,
Now David Cronenberg has white hair. In this movie, Vincent Cassel has white hair, and
Okay.
it's combed the same way that David
Autobiographical? Is that what you're?
and Vincent Cassel's wife has just died, and he's coping with the loss. Now he's an inventor,
Right.
so he invents a shroud that you put on the deceased that they get buried in. But the shroud is made up of all these electrical, shall we say,
Particles,
electrodes?
electrodes
Okay.
electrodes. Okay.
that send a Wi-Fi signal to your phone, and you get to watch your beloved's corpse
Deterioration.
decomposing, because as you pay attention to the decomposition, you start to say, I'm letting this go.
Oh.
Whereas
But
if
does it send a picture or just information?
It's actually, no, it's a picture, right?
Oh my Lord!
So that's the concept, that, in other words, if you follow the decomposition of your beloved, that it's sort of like what they do in villages in Africa. When you break your arm or your leg, you go to the tribal doctor and he sets it. Then he says, now watch this. And he breaks the leg of a chicken. And he says, come and look at that chicken once a week. When that chicken starts to walk without a limp or anything, you should be walking without a limp. So it's like you use the real world to inform your own life.
Right.
Or
Okay.
chicken.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I love
So-
chickens.
So in other words, you're using what's really happening in the world
Right.
to let it go.
Oh, right.
So what's the movie about? So the movie, this thing is invented, and the David Cronenberg character is checking the app, and then one day, the app is checked, and the body it's a black screen. Like, what happened? What happened to my device?
Yeah.
And so he goes and he fixes the problem. But while he's at the cemetery, he notices that other people who bought the device have had their graves dug up.
There's only one device. They keep
Oh,
reusing
because the device.
Because people are stealing the device. So he's wondering, why would you steal this device? This doesn't make sense. So obviously the police are looking for the people.
it. Don't give
Right.
it away.
No, I want to know.
I
Well,
don't.
there's a thing I got to tell you about this movie, though.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I want to
You,
know too.
you can't give it away.
Oh,
it's
wow.
coded to you.
In other words, when people walk out of this movie, the first question they say is, "What the hell was that about?"
Yeah.
That's Cronenberg for you.
You know, it has so many different ways of interpreting it.
Well,
So then what happens then is as he's looking on the app in the days that follow, he notices that the body is shifting. And he goes, "This couldn't happen. How could a body like turn on its side?
Yeah.
Something's wrong." And so he says, it's got to be the people who stole the shrouds are tampering with the technology. So he starts sending messages to the shrouds saying, "I'm going to track you down and find you." And he starts hearing messages back, "Don't do that, because what we have to say, it'll destroy you." So the question then becomes, is he communicating with the people who stole the shrouds, or is he communicating with the dead?
Well,
Because the more he communicates, the more cryptic the messages are.
Occam's
Or
razor.
how about the divinity, some kind of divinity?
That's right. So a lot of people are interpreting this as a way to cope with life after death.
Well, see, the thing, what I would first think is, because if they're disintegrating, if they're doing an Isaac Newton or a Wilhelm Leibniz, you know, they're disintegrating. Scientific jokes are the nerdiest of all. They would not be embalmed because embalmed bodies wouldn't break down. So therefore, if they're not embalmed, they're naturally decomposing. They're doing a Beethoven, decomposing. They could shift from gas exchange, you know, in the body. That would be my first thought. That somebody was screwing with it. You know, that's the thing.
But bodies that are embalmed don't decompose.
They
Of
do
course.
eventually.
They take
It just takes a long time.
and
Oh,
they don't
okay.
have the bacteria are dead in them. They don't generate the gas. Because
Yeah.
if you want to throw a body in the lake, you got to add extra 5 to
The
10
radio
pounds.
station?
Oh,
No, I'm talking about Lake Erie.
1077?
That you have to put 5 to 10 pounds more than the body weight. So like I'm a $190, so you'd have to put 200 pounds of weight on me to keep me under the water because the gases in the belly, especially that evolved,
Yes.
would be enough to float you to the surface.
Yeah,
That's why you give them cement
floaters.
galoshes,
That's what
right?
they say, floaters,
Well,
right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's why if you're gonna throw somebody in the water, slit their gut.
Oh.
They're already dead anyhow. So open it up. If you want to disappear a body, I can do that. I can tell.
Well,
I can.
I mean, all I can say, that's what the rescue people at Niagara Falls say. That's how they find people who have
Been
jumped
thrown.
in
Yeah,
or
yeah.
and that their
Bloated
body
floaters.
Well, that was like when
floaters and the gas.
Lake
Yeah.
Mead was low. They found the barrel that had somebody dead in it. You know, when they opened it, the bones had a bullet hole in the head.
Where was this?
Lake Mead, which was formed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the body though.
yeah, they found a barrel. Just like whenever
Beer barrel polka.
the
With
dead
a
body
barrel
polka.
of fun.
Oh my!
Well, I mean, I've heard of
Dingus Day.
the drinks that have the snake in it. I haven't heard about
Tequila?
Like, no, or is it tequila?
Tequila's
Might
got
be-
the snake in it.
worm.
Yeah, you drink the
It's
snake.
a worm.
No. There's
The
a snake.
It's an asp, the sand asp from Egypt.
Asp, very dangerous. You go first.
That's Cleopatra.
So-
That's what.
How many
that
of those shrouds were out there?
Yeah.
how many
Did
shrouds?
they say how many shrouds were in the being used for these dead bodies?
That's a question I never asked.
Yeah. Okay.
They were
Because-
legion.
When because they are many.
Well, I mean, that's interesting because he invents this device, and somehow people have to get it to believe in it. I mean, how was he had a? I mean, it just sounds like, did he have a manufacturing plant in his basement?
They
or,
made it
Yeah.
at the Tesla plant.
Yeah. Well,
or was it?
Yeah, I mean, if he's an inventor, basically, you know, I'm sure there are like conventions that inventors go to, and then people
Well,
say, yeah, we can manufacture
I would
that.
just find it really remarkable that a lot of people would want to watch their loved ones decompose.
Well, in all the promo for the movie,
Yeah.
they're interviewing Cronenberg. And he said, well, you do know that right now in the real world, you can take all the text voicemails that somebody had, and you can give it to this company, and then when that person is deceased, they will recreate the voice and you can talk to the
A
deceased.
voice like Odyssey 2?
Well, or no, like in Mission Impossible 3, when they have Owen Davian reading the card, because there are 40 sounds in English, 40 sounds, and if you say all those, you can tie those together. That's
40
right on.
sounds, huh?
40.
Wow. How many are there in Hawaiian, do you know?
They already do this?
There's only like 11 or 15.
Yes,
I know there's not
and
many.
Cronenberg
Yeah.
said that how much of a leap is the shroud idea?
Yeah.
From the
Yeah.
idea that you can
So,
say
and
you
they
could
would-
say to you could say to your grandchildren, "Do you want to hear Grandma read a bedtime story?" And they go, "Yes." Then you hold up your phone and you say, "Grandma, please read The Three Little Pigs for your grandchildren," and then it gets read. Even though your grandmother never read that, they
Read the
use-
Book of Revelation.
Right. They use it. They use the AI,
Yeah,
and they
Exactly.
connect it to your voice.
yeah.
That's kind of how the performances of holograms are done in a way.
You can already do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be. I mean, it's not going to be much longer before we start seeing old movie stars in new movies.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
well,
that's
you know what
gonna
to
be
look
there.
at was-
License, yeah, they can license the likeness of the movie star through the estate.
And Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, I wouldn't be surprised if they remade that, because Steve Martin in that movie interacts with 19 different film noir movies.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah, I
1982.
don't remember.
Right.
Yeah,
It was the first movie after The Jerk.
I did see it, but I don't remember it because I have a very bad memory.
And
Well, you know, the thing that amazed me with that type of thing was when I saw the Elvis Presley concert. That was a few years ago.
Thank you.
Witness
Thank you.
Hologram
Thank you very
Elvis?
much. Was it like young,
WJJ Elvis.
Was it a hologram or was it an AI image?
The Costello.
was it
No, the Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
And
Was
it
it-
was a hologram, but
Oh,
it was so.
On stage.
Was it
yeah,
fat
I
and
think
wore a
so.
yeah,
Hey.
was it young Elvis and healthy Elvis, or fat and bloated?
I love fat
Yeah,
bloated
yeah.
Elvis.
yeah, which did it represent Elvis in his early years or middle years or later years?
Was a 1968
More kind
comeback?
of like middle, because
Yeah.
he was,
Oh, like 68.
Yeah, 68.
Yeah.
yeah, kind of middle, because
He wasn't that.
He was actually, accompanying the orchestra was accompanying this hologram on stage,
Wow.
and it was mesmerizing because I thought, I don't know how to feel about this, because it was really like Elvis with the orchestra. The orchestra had to rehearse with this image.
Wow.
And for the first time, I thought, oh, Elvis knows how to sing if that's his real voice, because I never thought much of his singing voice. You know, there's a lot of wiggle and
Well, there's-
glamour.
I thought
Yeah.
he had a
Real.
good voice.
Yeah, well, they were today on Canadian radio. They were talking about popular singers who can't sing. I could only think Chris Christopherson, who could write them.
Bob
but
Dylan.
He couldn't sing.
Jerry Garcia.
But I mean, really, Christopherson couldn't sing.
Steely
And,
Dan guy.
and
Fagan.
Fagan.
I love Fagan.
I love his voice,
Perry
though.
Farrell of
Yeah.
Porno for
yeah.
Pyros.
Oh, yeah, he can't
said,
sing.
He
He's
said, I
horrible.
can't sing, and I'll prove it. And he still had a hit record with And Caught Stealing. And But now with autotune so ubiquitous,
Oh, yeah,
you don't know who
I
can
hate-
sing and who can't.
I hate that sound. That was the
Or you
the
can tell
Cher.
that song. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's at its max
believe-
volume set, or its
Well,
max.
Cher used that as a thing.
As a yeah,
as an effect.
an accoutrement. Yeah,
effect.
Not
That's
like
the one time I like autotune is in that
yeah,
song.
as an effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that ipso facto for it to be an effect versus the manner of what you're doing.
It's in effect.
Yeah.
Okay, James,
Um,
I know you're here.
Rex in effect, rough shaker.
Yeah. I think
James,
he's asleep.
what do you think of
boring
autotune?
him. Put the mic down, dude. There you go.
Because I mean, you like to do karaoke, and you can
Kinda
sing.
okay.
G.G. Allen karaoke.
So, how do you feel about people who have to use autotune in their stars?
Well, obviously, they shouldn't be doing that. I mean,
Jan and Dean, Milli Vanilli.
So,
and Dean.
so,
Well,
but
I'd
they
rather
got
do
busted for the
Celine-
record. You know that it
Yeah,
skipped.
let James.
Oh.
James is gonna
I didn't
is
know
a
about
slow.
that.
We need
Interesting.
we need some space for James because we got he's a slower talker than we are, and I want him to get his words in.
I can play double dutch here. I really like Celine Dion. I don't like people like these
Doing the double
kids
dutch.
who just.
Who in particular?
Okay, all right.
Examples.
I'm gonna start handing
like
out.
examples.
I'm gonna start handing out bad scores here. I want
Double plus on
I
good.
want double plus on good. I want James to finish his thought.
It's nice to want.
All right.
So
are we-
yeah,
yeah.
somebody like Celine Dion is an artiste.
Okay.
And that is a good thing as far as it goes with singing is concerned. But you have other so-called stars who are more personalities.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Dylan.
Perfect example,
Yeah.
Bob Dylan.
He's a personality.
I have, in fact, it's funny that you mentioned it because there's a guy who goes to karaoke here in Buffalo. And I don't think he's doing this on purpose. I think it's just his singing style, his voice.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever he sings comes out sounding like Bob Dylan singing whatever song. So he loves to sing What If God Were One of Us?
Oh, Joan Osborne, 2002.
And it comes out as Bob Dylan singing Joan Osborne.
Wow.
And I end up telling people, okay, if you've never heard this song, you still haven't heard this song. You have to YouTube it so you know how it's supposed to actually go.
So do you think his voice is actually as bad as Dylan's? Mm-hmm. Or do you think he just thinks Dylan's voice is good and he tries to emulate it?
He's not trying to emulate anything. This is just his voice.
He just sounds like that, right?
Only he can't write excellent songs. He goes to karaoke.
Like a bird that flew, tangled up in blue.
Yeah.
But
So where is this karaoke place?
Karaoke.
this is Buffalo. You can go to karaoke just about any night of the week.
Go to Porky's with Jim Prey.
Does he frequent one particular place?
Well, you can't really do that anymore because Buffalo's gotten really goofy with karaoke.
Really?
Places have changed what nights they do it or stopped doing it altogether. So
Well, where do you go?
These days, I'll go to Rafferty's on Thursday and 290 Slide when and if they're having it. They used to do it every week, and now it's whatever night of the month that there's one particular day Jai deigns to give them space in his schedule. So if I were the business owner, I wouldn't go along with this because you need to keep your audience. So you need to have something regular.
Yeah, people love karaoke.
Is there a Baker Street in Buffalo? When you said Rafferty's, I was
Very
thinking.
Rafferty.
Oh.
Good.
Seriously, I was wondering.
There's probably a Baker Street. I don't know where it is. It's not. I mean,
There would have to be a Baker Street in Buffalo,
Yeah.
considering Father Baker.
Oh, right.
But he was from Corning,
Very good.
and the original name of Lackawanna was Limestone Hill. That ridge Road is on.
Sounds like a psychedelic band.
Yeah.
Hill.
Yeah, there
Well,
are
I want
ridges
to
all
find
over.
out when James is going to go to karaoke next because I want to go and I want to hear him, but I want to see about that.
Hey,
I have
James,
not
what songs do you do?
We need your schedule.
Well, you can go to 290 Slide tonight, and I'll be there.
Hey, what's your favorite songs to do? Do you have any in particular that you like to perform?
You are a woman. You ask a fucking question and you keep talking so the person can't answer the fucking question. Just tell me what it is.
Uh-huh.
So shut up and give me an answer. The answer to your question is people frequently request that I do It's My Life by Bon Jovi.
Oh, wow.
Gin Blossoms, Hey Jealousy.
Oh,
And The Calling, Wherever You Will Go.
Wow.
Wherever you will go. I don't think I know that song. You want to give us a few bars?
If I could, then I would. I go wherever you will go, way up high or down low. I'll go wherever you will go.
That's nice. You have a little smoker's gravel in your voice. How did you get that?
Oh, it's been a bad year, and I really need some tea right now.
No. I mean it's a good
But it
it's a
sounds
good
good.
vocal quality. I wasn't making a joke. I mean,
I'm just saying I usually have a more clear voice, but
yeah.
Some mushroom tea.
Do you sing the Radiohead song? I'm a weirdo.
I haven't done that one at karaoke, mostly because other people do it.
Oh, okay.
But I have done that one for myself in an empty room.
James,
Well, I heard it on one of these competitions, and the contestant sang it. It was a knockout.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, the contestant has taken over Radiohead's song. They can't sing it anymore because this guy sang it so much.
Wow.
It is interesting when that happens. When Bella Page did Praying on The Voice, I'm like, in 2 minutes, she just stole this song from Kesha. Because if you weren't there in the first minute 30 seconds, when she did high E over C and made it actually make sense in the damn song, it's hers now.
Do you know? Do
like-
you know the note key things? Can you read
Do you have
music?
relative pitch, or do you have perfect pitch?
Hot pitch.
I was told that I actually have a really good pitch, and
You don't catch, you pitch.
That will seal the deal.
Yeah, because I love to sing. I miss a lot of notes, but I do love to sing.
But they don't miss you.
The auto-tune will help you. It'll fill them in.
but see, this thing about musical talent, there are certain singers who are perfect in their art. But what happens is, if they sing the same song, it's hard to tell which version you're listening to because the singer is technically perfect. River Deep, Mountain High.
Okay.
This is a perfect song for this.
Marvin Gaye and
If
Tammy
you
Terrell.
go through the different
Or Ike
versions,
Tina.
because everybody's done it.
Yeah.
You know, so listen to the Tina Turner version, the Celine Dion version.
Erasure did it.
Did they?
They did. There's a Erasure version. Yeah. Vince Clarke and Andy Bell. You know.
I have noticed that most people who do River Deep, Mountain High just use a click track of the original release.
Yeah,
So
they don't
there's
do a
n-
version of it. They don't do a different version.
Or they do the
Well,
same
they
tempo.
don't have a band do a different version.
Yeah.
So it's like karaoke. You have this singer doing this song to the original musical track.
Yeah.
And then they match the notes
Yeah.
because they're technically perfect singers. And because of that, you can't tell if you're listening to Celine Dion or Tina Turner sing this song.
You can't.
Right.
You really can't tell?
Well,
Well, because if they're doing the similar
No,
version.
but they have different
yeah.
timbres and stuff
Yeah.
for their voice.
Because-
But they're trying to do it
They're
note
trying-
by
yeah,
note.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
where it becomes
But
difficult.
you still have the timbre of your voice is going to
Yeah,
be
that,
it's going to be different even if you're hitting the note.
like if you have
It can
two
take many verses before you're like, okay, that's Barbara Streisand.
I'm pretty quick with that stuff. But maybe most people, yeah, okay.
But that'll be interesting. And I was thinking about that auto tune and people who use it, stars who aren't very talented. And
Like
Yeah,
we
but-
need
but there's-
examples. I like hard
Years, though.
examples. Like who are these stars?
Friday.
There's a lot of sex.
I know
One of
there's
the
I know
ones
there's
that
a lot of
I
people
found
who
is
say
Britney
it's a
Spears.
stereotype, but you
have
gotta
you seen Britney Spears and
you gotta have examples. Okay, Britney Spears is an example. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean
Yeah.
a lot. Sometimes I just think it's a lot of flash and smoke with these artists. I don't think it's
Like the crazy world of Arthur Brown.
And
Fire.
I bring you fire.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm gonna take you to burn.
Well, you know, when many of these kids came up through Disney, the Mouseketeers, like
Oh, yeah,
let's
there's
say
a lot of 'em.
Christina Aguilera, she's got chops. She sings.
But
And Britney Spears, they're also a Mouseketeer, and some other people that go on these competitions younger, they go through that track. And they're really supposed to be something else. Like Britney Spears is a wonderful dancer, but they threw her into the singing piece. And Christina Aguilera wanted to sing, be a singer, because she said she's good like that. But as a pop thing, and then they made her be dancing. So it's kind of interesting how they have to.
Yeah,
Then
you have to
Christina had
fit-
that revival where she was doing like that swing music
Oh,
type
yeah.
stuff too.
Yeah.
But
you have
really
to fit a
close to the
certain
end.
mold.
the epic Screaming Jay Hawkins and Bite It.
Yes.
Bite it one time. Bite it. Lick it one time.
Oh no, we're degenerating again.
Music is
Richard,
music.
Richard, let's change the subject to something on your list.
Yeah.
There's something smart like I like, you know?
Elevate it again.
I don't know, but I'll just tell James to tell us when and where he's singing.
Yeah,
We could organize a
maybe
group.
You said
maybe you and I
290
can you and I can go together, Celeste.
We can support him.
Like I
We'll
said,
support
290
you.
slide tonight. If
I'm
you're
not
available.
going tonight.
Okay.
I'm not
Tonight.
going tonight, but you got to give us a list of places
Saturday
you're going.
night is all right
Send
for
it to me
fighting.
on Messenger, and we'll Celeste and I will get together and
Okay.
come visit.
Yeah.
James is telling me that there's this thing that happens at karaoke. Mm-hmm. So you get up to sing. Now, let's say there's somebody in the audience that thinks maybe it's your ex-girlfriend, or maybe it's a woman who thinks that you are you fancy her.
Yeah.
The song that you choose, they will interpret that you're singing it to them.
Yeah,
That's like a delusion.
That's a delusion.
you don't know how many women sit in the front row at a concert and think that those guys are talking to them.
Or I think Taylor Swift is talking to him.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Or Michael, who's the guy with the brain tumor? 90s singer.
O'Donnell, Michael
Bolton?
O'Donnell.
Bolton.
Oh, Bolton.
Bolton.
Or what's his name? Tom Jones. You know, they're throwing
Yeah.
their panties at him.
Oh, I know. My sister's sister-in-law went to one of those concerts, and she actually threw her bra up on stage. I guess.
Like, was
a
it an
thing.
extra one she brought, or did she just
She just took it
jerry
off and threw
Wow.
it. She well, she was not well endowed, so
So it's an easier
so
mission.
it wasn't such a problem. But yeah, she threw. I think she wore a special lacy one just
Yeah,
to
do you
throw up
realize
there.
how expensive those can be?
Very expensive.
You know,
I
like-
do. I do know how expensive bras
that's
are.
like-
more than you probably.
Well, yeah, I don't know
Maybe.
about pricing them. I just know that.
That was a,
That reminds me of something from 20 years ago. That I went out with a woman I dated a few times, and we stopped into Victoria's Secret. And there's another guy there with his girlfriend, and we're like, this sucks. So we sat on this bench, and one of the women says, you can't sit here. This is in the waiting room area. So they roasted us out because we saw the bench there. It was like right there. We sat down like, they said, no, you can't sit there. So we had to stand there, stand around doing nothing. Like,
Could have got something for yourself.
I think I would wear a size 14.
Maybe you would. Yeah,
But
I
my
think
mother
14,
said,
yeah.
my mother said,
You look 14.
there's
If I
no
could
14 bra though.
I mean,
Oh
14
no,
dress.
I would,
dress.
I would have like one of those. What's that new one from that Asian woman has for the ones that are under endowed? Like for the really flat chested women.
I don't know.
It's a new bra that
I never had to worry about that.
Never heard her say he's somewhere I don't know where.
Yeah.
Somewhere I don't know where.
Yeah.
So, well, they had the Victoria's Secret's parade, or not parade, fashion show
Yeah.
for this time.
Well, they had in the catalogs. They never showed. No matter how sheer the bra was, there were never nipples.
That's the
No,
airbrush
no.
out.
They were airbrushed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always meant to be sort of a
and you
exotic
never saw the thong ass
extravaganza.
either.
Right.
Yeah, you had to take it on faith that it was a thong because you never saw it.
Thong ass. That should be a band name.
That could be a band name. Yes.
I don't know.
All right. So
Do you have anything more on the list, Richard?
Yeah.
Good, hit it.
So today is the 556th anniversary of the birth of Niccolo Machiavelli.
Oh,
Do you look upon him as someone who tried to help dictators remain in power, or as someone who was warning the public about what the dictators do behind the scenes to hold on to power?
well, it's funny. I think it must have been you that mentioned it at some point in time, but I had never thought about the second version because when I attempted to read the book, I was from the other school that believed that showing you how to be a dictator. I mean, the book could have been how to be a dictator.
Project 2025.
So I really didn't like the book. So but if I'd like to go back and reread it just because I want to see if I could catch anything.
I'll spoil it for
Catch
you.
what,
They all
an
die in the
STD?
end.
They're all dead. Yeah, I'd be curious to reread it just to see.
Like the
if
ads in
I
back
could-
of Art Voice, it said curious. Remember those in the back?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
because I never considered that would be the case. What do you think?
I think he was warning people.
Really?
Yeah.
So you
But he had
think
to
more
do it.
highly.
Yes. Good timing.
He had to do it in a way that he would not get in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that's what I said.
Yeah.
Pop-o-matic trouble?
Did you?
If you got trouble, wait,
did you
don't
take-
run. This kind of trouble's lots of fun.
Class? Did you
The
do
game
a
from the
class or
70s?
have a lecture about
yes,
it?
Yes, I heard a lecture on YouTube about this very point.
Yeah, because that's something that
And they said, he wrote more than just that one book.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all his other work, and you'll see how much of a man of the people he was.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't. I mean, I guess I thought he wrote other books, but I just never.
But that was also
was
in the
never on
time
the
they would
list.
chop your head off. So you got to walk a fine line.
What century was this?
When the Prince was written?
Yeah.
16th century.
So just take
500 and something years.
2025 minus 556. So
Math is hard.
Figure take away 500,
Okay.
and that's when he wrote it. So that would
All right.
be
So
in
the 16th century.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
they didn't have a lot of tolerance back then. That wasn't
They
a
don't
tolerant
now.
error. No, it's true.
Well, it's prioritizing power, right? Because I saw that, and I mean, when I read the book, it was so long ago, but that's so I'd be like Paula, read it again, but it is like power over uber alles, and the power of the state, so you can have dominion. It's like Elon Musk says, empathy is humanity's greatest failure. So it, it's manipulative. So it's a wonderful example, and it's connected to politics. Always has. I'd have to look at it again to see whether or not he was warning or just explaining.
Or I'd like
Well-
to look at a bunch of the topics that he wrote about
but,
in the other books and see where that stands.
The thing that was writing about in The Prince, remember also, where do you see a prince in Shakespeare in Romeo and Juliet? He's the overriding, the big power over the
Where do you see
families.
Morris Day? Prince.
Oh, I was thinking.
Morris Day.
I don't have any time for that.
Good. Got it.
But the prince was, the princely was, that was the thing in Italy. And that was because he
Caesar
was.
Borgia.
Yeah.
Portrait of Jesus.
Cesare. Cesare. Caesar doesn't sound as good.
Cesare!
Whoa!
Costa Rica.
Well, I think we should all
Paisan
revisit
favorites.
that because if you talk about the surviving, if you want to survive the principles of Machiavelli that are being exhibited in full display now, I guess you'd have to understand them in order to circumvent them or counter them.
It's better to know.
Yeah, it is definitely
better the evil you
better
know.
to understand what's
The devil
being
you
done
know.
to you.
Yes.
The Bananarama song? Better the devil you know.
Well, that's
one of
also
the songs. It's
that's
on-
also a saying.
This has been our
but it's
music
a Bananarama
episode.
song
Yeah.
too.
Bananarama.
Rama banana.
You guys know people I never heard of.
I know that they're
They're
very
very from the 80s.
they're
I swear
very
to God, I don't know.
knowledgeable.
We're
Not only-
savants.
They
We're musical.
remember names. I mean, I know all the lyrics from every song written from like 1960 until 1985. I know every single lyric. And
Oh boy.
But you're too young. Are
I
you
could give you a
remembering?
challenge.
I mean,
my
you gotta
sisters,
be too young.
my sisters were 10 years older than me, so we were listening to WKBW radio.
You know all
okay, I got
all
you.
those lyrics from 1965 to 1985?
1960, maybe even earlier, because my sisters were listening
How about
to
Neon
WKBW.
Meat Suit of an Octafish by Captain Beefheart and the Magic
I
Band?
have seen Captain Beefheart.
Stuff on the Hot 100.
Normal stuff.
That is the Hot
Be
100.
wrong when it feels
I saw
so
Captain
right,
Beefheart, though.
Good.
And you light up my
Joint?
life.
Oh.
Well, what's Morris? What's his name? Memory.
Day.
Um.
There's only Morris Day.
Morris Day.
No.
Morris
No,
Day.
Morris
It does
Day.
the oak
Morris-
tree.
Morris the cat.
No, Morris, the guy from '74, the one who sang.
Garrett
Memories.
Morris from Saturday Night Live.
Memories from
Or-
Cats.
Morris.
No,
oh,
not from Cats.
what song? I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that one. That horrible
Not
song.
Morris Albert? Is that his name? Which
Wasn't
song?
Morris because he's not.
Which song are you talking about? Like
Excuse me.
Loving You? Or what?
No, that
Oh.
was Minnie Riperton.
Okay, what song are you
1976.
talking about
But
here?
that was the song Memory.
You How high?
It's
She had
easy
the
because
highest
you're
voice.
beautiful.
It's easy because you're beautiful.
Every day of
She's
my
Maya
life.
Rudolph's
About
mother.
me.
Minnie Riperton is Maya Rudolph's mother.
She was from the Rotary Connection. You know the Rotary Connection, the band she was in? The psych
I've
band.
lost control.
Oh, they are
I've lost
great.
control of the show.
Minnie
This- the-
Riperton.
You've lost
was,
control like Joy Division. Are you
Did
Ian
anybody
Curtis?
see her concert in Buffalo when she performed at Kleinhans Music Hall?
Did you?
I performed at Klein
It was
Hands.
incredible. She was incredible.
Like the Hulk. He's incredible.
her voice was
Five octave. Five octave range.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were there?
no, I wasn't there, but I mean, I've heard the records.
Have you heard the
Yeah,
Rotary
no, I
Connection?
was there. And in live.
Feelings. That's what it was. Not memories, feelings.
Morris Albert. Yeah, feelings. Whoa.
I wish I never.
Whoa, feelings. Whoa, feelings.
I wish I never met you,
Feelings
girl.
of love.
You'll
Morris
never
Albert.
come- Albert. Yeah, he's Brazilian. He's
Yeah.
still alive.
I can't. I give up.
And I have absolutely no idea who they are.
There was a hit in 1974, right?
I think it was 74.
I think it was 74.
Or
It was around
yeah,
that.
yeah, 74. Good eye.
The Prince was a CV. He was
Summer of
looking for a job.
1975.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Why the heck did you bring up feelings out of all the songs
yeah,
in
out
the
of
world?
all the
Wow.
songs in the world, I
Well,
do
like
remember
James
that
Blunt.
song.
You're beautiful.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, James Blunt was a captain in the British Army.
Captain
when
and Tennille.
he was on a tank and he strapped his guitar to the outside. And people said an Afghan shell should have hit the guitar, and then we wouldn't have been we wouldn't have had to listen to him. We wouldn't have just been subjected to his cracking voice.
All right. So
Yes. Have we blown your mind?
my equilibrium has left me. All right, so now we have 2 minutes, and I mean I'm tempted to just let you two go crazy with the
That's a Prince song.
Let's go crazy. Let's get
let's
nuts.
go crazy. Yeah, but
Vanity, nasty girl. Vanity 6 to be precise. Because you know why they're called Vanity 6? Because there were 6 breastises between the 3 girls.
Oh, that's funny.
And it sounded like
that
sex.
that's
The 6 was like sex. So like he had all these fun things going on.
All right.
This Prince is a master of language. Like I love his song titles. Like I would die for you, but it's a number 4 and then the letter U. And he like you. I typed
he
like
went,
I
he
would
went
you.
as a symbol for a while.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
He
so
liked to play with
success
language.
against his record label, and he was highly successful with that.
Well,
Yeah.
Prince was one of
I
those
like
guys
Prince.
that he played every instrument, and he could play your instrument better than you.
Oh yeah.
You know, he had like Paul McCartney.
Yeah, like McCartney. Yes.
Yeah, that
Very good.
amazing skill, and Charlie Chaplin was,
like
was the same
Pam
way.
Schwartz.
Charlie Chaplin would act both sides of the role for the people that had to act in the movies. That he would say, no, do this, and then he'd go in.
Oh yeah.
And you know that perfectionists perfect like that. You know,
Yeah,
and
when I
they're
was in
never
a
good
band,
at-
I used to write the lyrics, and I would tell the singer the inflection and how to phrase things.
And they say, screw your
And like
flexion.
you got to have certain phrasing for the words to fit the music the correct way. That's one thing I like
Paula,
about.
you were actually early. I showed up late because I figured, well, okay, I got another half an hour, and here you are. What the hell happened?
Oh, you're here for the last minute, the 1 minute countdown.
Yeah, we're in the 1 minute countdown.
Lindsey Buckingham.
Okay, you got 1
Countdown.
minute. Speak your mind.
1992.
the final countdown.
You're up.
No, I'm
Great
good. I
song.
got nothing to say at this moment.
You ever hear the
How you,
Leibach cover?
how you feeling?
No.
Leibach do a
Pretty good.
cover of Final
Good.
Countdown.
I'm
It's
glad.
Nice. Leibach's
So
good.
next time, yeah,
breathing.
we were.
The cancer doctor told him everything looks stable. We just have to keep monitoring it.
All right, excellent. That's excellent news. So
Yay.
we started what? Tom, did we start around 7:20 or something?
7:30.
7:30.
AM 740.
7:30. We're supposed to start at 7, so we were not early, but we were early late.
Well, you were early compared to 8 o'clock all the time. So
Well,
you know.
sometimes we do get started
You're the
later.
early bird, you got the
Sometimes
worm.
We have. I mean, sometimes we just have a lot of
10
technical
seconds.
difficulties, but thank you for joining us, darling. Okay, so thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all coming
From the
and
Mythic
being
SI.
part. And yeah,
Love
Don't
Choice
forget,
Squares.
James,
We're
send
gonna-
out your
yeah.
notice about when you're going to be doing karaoke
yeah,
again.
Celeste, you and I will go. It'll be fun.
We're going to go and clap very loud.